Howdy out there, everyone. Today we're going to take a look at this Blu-ray release of The Cell by Arrow Video. Of course, the film came out in 2000 and was directed by a gentleman who made his name in music videos and is really an impressive visualist, to say the least. Tarsum Singh is the gentleman's name. Is an Indian man and rather entertaining on this disc. There's a almost feature-length interview with him about the film, and he's quite engaging. He's a pretty charismatic and funny dude, and which the highlight though should be his aesthetics. I mean, he's got some chops. His visual aesthetics are pretty much at the top of the list of those sorts of film directors, and he talks about having been inspired by Tarkovsky and others, and you can see it. He's just a brilliant visualist, and of course his partner in crime, the DP, who interestingly enough he's got sort of a complicated relationship with, because I think they're both very strong personalities and they both care very deeply about the finished product. Paul Laffer, or the DP is Paul Laffer, that's it. But in any case, this Arrow release is really impressive from a supplemental viewpoint. There's so many really cool interviews and featurettes on the making of this film that really blows the previous Blu-ray release out of the water. The PQ and AQ are also quite good, though I will concede that the grain is a little grainy in a few spots. But to their credit, they didn't DNR the shit out of it. So I think if you're talking about the director's intent and the visual aesthetics of the film, I think they've largely remained intact. And I do think that this Blu-ray release exceeds the PQ and AQ quality that was released previously. I find the movie to be very watchable while also incredibly difficult at times. It reminds me a little bit of some of the stuff that Lars von Trier did with The House That Jack Built, but not nearly as extreme. Yes, there are a couple moments in this movie that are rather uncomfortable to watch, if I'm being honest. And I often wonder, do we really need to see that? But having said all that, I think that the journey you take and what you see and hear on film is pretty damn impressive. Of course, the concept is it's a wonderful concept of a movie where basically Jennifer Lopez plays a therapist who, with the advent of this technology that's been developed, allows her to go into the brains of comatose individuals to help entice them out of their slumber, basically. And you start off in the beginning of the film, you see that she's maybe not having as much success as she would like, and it's very difficult to establish any proof that what she's doing is working. So she's very frustrated by that, and clearly the act of sort of going into another person's mind is taxing, to say the least. Well, parallel to all that is apparently a murder investigation that the cops are in the midst of. I believe the film is set in LA, or at least Southern California, and Vincent D'Onofrio plays this serial killer by the name of Carl Starger. And interestingly enough, in one of the supplemental features, it's mentioned that his mannerisms, Vincent D'Onofrio's mannerisms in bringing this character to life, are actually very sort of proto Anton Chigurh and No Country for Old Men, which does make you wonder if the makers of that film, and of course the wonderful Javier Bardem, weren't influenced by this. I mean, let's be honest, everybody steals from everyone, and I don't think there's any denying that both Javier Bardem and Vincent D'Onofrio crushed their respective parts. But in any case, I won't go too much further into the plot than that, but I will just say that if you like this film, if you find the the aesthetics to be impressive. There's no better way to experience it than on this Arrow Blu-ray release. Now, interestingly enough, there has been some criticism that the 4K Blu-ray, it looks a little dimmer, a little darker, and I think that may be to the film's detriment, unfortunately, but that is sometimes a quality of the 4K format. And here's the slipcase, of course. I just wanted to show you the Blu-ray packaging itself. That's a pretty interesting piece of artwork that I've never seen before. That's right out of that scene where the killer that is, walks out with this crazy cape that comes out of the walls. It's pretty impressive. That sequence and then the horse are the ones that I think a lot of people talk about. There's disc 1, which incidentally, this has both the theatrical and the director's cut. And interestingly enough, I would say that I prefer the theatrical because I believe that the added footage that was in the director's cut is more of that uncomfortableness that I spoke of earlier. I feel like maybe we don't need to see some of that shit. I don't know. But here you've got a booklet with, incidentally, I want to also put a big shout out to the costume designer in this film. I mean, I think that the costumes in this are just stunning, very impressive. But as you can see here, there's basically a little booklet with some liner notes and etc. And then there's also this really cool movie poster, which has the same artwork basically as what you see with the slipcase on one side and the new commission artwork here on the other. So on that note, let's just call it square. Definitely like the film, love the release, highly recommend it. Arrow Video is doing some yeoman's work of late, restoring some of these films and giving it their ever important TLC to preserve these films and to ensure that they are watched for years to come. So on that note, please do take care out there, everyone. Stay safe, be kind, and by all means, keep watching good cinema.